Hello, welcome to Square Balloon Actions and Tutorials. This tutorial is for Photoshop CS and I'm going to show you how to make filtered sunlight for your images. So we're starting off with this image here, which I took from the shade so I didn't have too much trouble with haze going over the subjects. And I just want to add a little bit of that haze back in again without having it hitting my lens. So I'm going to do that in Photoshop. So the first method that I'm going to show you is done with a diamond gradient. I've got my gradient tool open here and I'm making sure that I've got this very last one here is the diamond gradient. I have that on. So for my color, I'm going to choose this sort of peachy color here, which I like. And on a new layer, I'm just going to make sure in my gradient editor that I have it from foreground to transparent, which is the second one along here. That's the one that I want. So on my new layer, I'm going to click and I'm going to drag in towards the center of the subjects. And you can see that makes a sort of a diamond gradient that reaches down to them. I'm going to change the blend mode of this to screen and I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. So on and off you can see that that looks like the sunshine is coming down from the top of the image there. So that's the first method, and then the second method, I'll turn that one off, just turn the visibility of that off. For the second method, first thing that I'm going to do is kind of create a gap in the trees where sunshine could realistically come through. So I'm going to duplicate my background layer just by dragging it down into the duplicate icon here. I'm going to get my dodge tool, set the range to highlights and exposure 100%. And just up here, I'm just going to start painting. Lifting my pen and putting it back down again until I get a little white area. So this is just to mimic sort of a gap in the trees here. So that's probably enough there like that. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sun out of a radial gradient this time. So I'm going to click on my gradient, and this time I'm going to have move my peach color along. At the center I'm going to have white. I'm going to bring the opacity of the end up, and then I'm going to have it fading to more orange towards the edge, and maybe even a little bit more red towards the outside. Okay. So then I have my gradient ready. I'm going to make a new layer, and in the center I'm going to click and drag out. Oops, I'm still on diamond gradient. I have to change to radial gradient for this particular one. I'm going to drag out. So there's my sun as it's going to be. And obviously I want to get rid of all this peach color around the outside. So on my mask, I'm going to click on foreground to background. My center is going to be white and the outside is going to be black. Whenever you are masking something, the black is going to turn, whatever is black on this mask here is going to turn this transparent, this one here beside it. So I'm going to click in the center, drag out towards the edge of that. You can see there that it has masked back everything, all that peach color on the outside, and just left the sun in the middle. That's what we want. Now I can move it around like that, that's fine. But what I want is I want this mask to set itself onto this layer here. So I'm going to right click on that mask and I'm going to click apply layer mask. So now we have the sun just on its own there like that. So we're going to move that up into the place where the sun was coming through the trees, where it could come through the trees, that little white area that we created. And again, I'm going to change this to screen. I can stretch it out and make it bigger if I want. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I am going to change the color slightly of the rest of it, because if there was that much warm sunshine coming through a gap in the trees, then it would have created a warmer color cast over everything else. So I'm going to run my lemon sky action, and that will just bring a little bit more warmth to the picture. I might even bring that up another little bit. So you can see the before and then the after of that one. So there are two quick methods to create your own filtered sunlight in your images.